Hello and welcome to yet another follow-along mobility routine. Today, thanks to some special requests on Instagram and YouTube, we're going to be focusing on the hips through a movement called the 90-90. Now, if you've never done a 90-90 before, this is going to be kind of tricky to keep up with your first time, but trust me, if you just keep coming back to this video and you just keep practicing your 90-90, you will amaze yourself with how much progress you can make with this movement, not just at your ability to perform it, but also in just how your hips feel throughout the day once you become a master of the 90-90. Not saying that I'm a master, I'm just on my way to perfecting hip mobility because I, like many people, have tight hips. It's no wonder we have tight hips. We live in a world that encourages a lot of sitting and a lot of linear movement. We don't move side to side anymore. We don't twist and turn. And over time, we lose the ability to internally and externally rotate our hips. And that echoes into a whole slew of issues and a lot of tightness. And without getting too scientific about it, just know that today we're really going to be working on internal and external rotation of the hips. Now, when we do 90-90, we always want to be warmed up. We want some blood flowing to our lower body before we get into this stretch. Maybe you can go for a walk, maybe you can do some jumping jacks. I also like to just start by doing some hip swivels. This always gets the blood flowing to the lower body. Each time you come around with a hip swivel, your knees touch the ground and just drive those knees into the ground for a brief moment and then switch sides. Just trying to activate the lower body here. And if you're already feeling pretty nimble today, you can come up onto your feet and use your arms to kind of counterbalance you as you do this with no hands. And let's just land on the left side here. We've got this figure 4 position with the legs, and to move this into a 90-90 to make that transition, we just want to extend our legs out so that our front knee is bent at 90 degrees and our back knee is bent at 90 degrees. Now this front leg ideally shoots directly out in front of our chest, so open your body up over this front leg, and your trail leg should be right in line with your right arm. Now we want to make sure that we have a nice tall posture, we're not rounding at the back, we got to keep the core engaged, keep the spine straight, and to help us out we can use our left hand here, bring those fingertips behind you, and use it a bit as a kickstand to help keep your body nice and tall. And while we're here, we want to be actively driving this front knee and front foot into the ground. We also want to actively be driving this back knee and back foot into the ground. We're just creating a lot of tension here. This is a tension-based movement. And for a lot of people, just sitting here and maintaining tension is going to be enough. And if that's you, don't worry, you are not alone. This is a very difficult position to get into, but if you are able to make progress, keep following along with me and see what you are capable of. So let's start by, again, opening up over this front leg. This front knee is in line with the chest. This left hand, fingertips supinated behind us. And we're going to start by hinging over this front knee. And when we reach the peak of our hinge, we're going to be driving this front knee into the ground. We're going to do this 3 times, increasing the intensity each time. So let's open up over that front leg, hinge forward until you feel a stretch down the back of that front leg and into your glutes. Once you feel that stretch, drive the knee into the ground, 3 out of 10 on pressure. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up on out of it. Now we're gonna do the same exact thing, hinge forward, drive that front knee into the ground, 6 out of 10 on pressure, push into the ground, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come up on out of it. You don't need to hinge that far forward. You just want to keep that straight spine. Make sure you're hinging, not rounding, keeping the core engaged here. One more time, let's really up the intensity, 9 out of 10 on pressure. So let's hinge forward, really drive that front knee into the ground, drive it into the ground, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Come up on out of it. And now we're going to transition legs. So let's open up over this back leg. Here's how we're going to transition. Keep driving this left knee into the ground, but now let's pick the right knee up, pull it up as high as we can, getting a big stretch in the adductors and the groin area here. Just keep opening up, and just transition in one big fluid movement into a 90-90 on the other side. And I'm going to turn towards you so that you can see this a little better. You can stay where you're at. But now we've got a 90-90 with the right foot forward. So again, checking our points. We bend this front leg at 90 degrees, back leg comes out in line with our left arm here. And let's do that same progression on this side. Pull this right hand out to your side, supinate those fingertips out behind you, and just hinge forward with a straight spine. Drive this knee into the ground, 3 out of 10. Push, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up on out of it. Again, let's hinge forward, 6 out of 10 on pressure, driving that knee into the ground, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, come up on out of it. And here it comes, we're really gonna drive this front leg into the ground as hard as we can here. Go for 9 or 10 out of 10 on pressure. Drive that front leg into the ground, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up out of it. Again, open up over that back leg. Pull that left knee off the ground, opening up, externally rotating that left leg. Really getting a stretch in the adductors. Driving that right knee into the ground. And now let that right knee come up off the ground. In one big movement, flop everything over into a 90-90 in the other direction. Once again, I'll turn to face you. You stay exactly where you are. Check our positioning here. 90 degrees, over the chest, out with the arm. And now instead of hinging over this front knee, we're gonna hinge over this front foot. And you're gonna feel a big stretch happen the whole way down the outside of this calf, the whole way back down the outside of this front leg. It's gonna get pretty intense, so do what you can here. Let's start with a 3 out of 10 on pressure. So supinate these fingers behind you, line up over that front foot, maintain a good tall posture, and let's hinge forward until you feel that stretch, and drive everything into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come up out of it. And notice that you're not gonna be able to hinge very far over your foot in comparison to over your knee. This is a lot harder here. So again, let's hinge forward. 6 out of 10 on pressure, driving that knee into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, come up out of it. Last time here, driving our body over our foot. We're gonna push into the ground with a 9 out of 10 on pressure. Hinge forward, push into the ground, 9 out of 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, come up out of it. All right, let's switch sides again. Open up over that right leg. Pull the right leg up off the ground. Really get that stretch in the groin area, in the adductors here. Keeping the left knee on the ground, and release the left knee. Switch over, 90-90 on the other side. I'm gonna turn towards you. Again, do a quick checkpoint with your 90-90 here. Front leg's coming out of the chest, back leg is in line with the left hand. Open up over this front knee. And now twist the body so that we have our nice tall posture, but now we're hinging over this front foot. Once again, 3 out of 10 on pressure to start, so hinge forward. Feel that stretch, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come up out of it. We're gonna do the same thing, 6 out of 10 on pressure, driving this knee and this foot into the ground. Hinge forward, drive it into the ground, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, come up out of it. One more time. Let's do as much pressure as we can, driving this whole front leg into the ground here. Hinge forward, drive into the ground, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up on out of it. Now these 90-90 positions are only as hard as you choose to make them, so really put that intensity into it if you really want to get results out of it. One more time, let's open up over this trail leg. Drive this right knee into the ground while you pull the left knee up off the ground. Keep pulling, keep pulling. Allow yourself to transition in one big beautiful motion into that other 90-90 with the left leg forward. I'm gonna flip towards you. Now this time around is gonna be kind of like the first time around where we're hinging over this front knee, driving that front knee into the ground. But when we reach the peak here, when we reach the peak of our hinge, we're gonna be lifting this back leg up off the ground. And you can see here that if you use your hands, you have a bit of a range of motion with this back leg that your muscles should have access to, but a lot of times we lose that access. We lose that mind-muscle connection. Our neurons forget how to fire to this leg to tell it to do this because it's not a motion that we make in everyday life anymore. And just know that if you currently can't pick this back leg up off the ground with your mind, that's okay. Just get into this position and think about doing it, and in time you will regain access to that range of motion. So let's get started. Let's open up over this front leg, and now we can hinge forward over that front knee, drive into the ground, 3 out of 10 on pressure, and lift that back leg up off the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up on out of it. Again, we're going to repeat that 6 out of 10 on pressure with this front leg and pulling this back leg up even a little higher. So let's get into it. Drive that front knee into the ground, 6 out of 10. Lift that back leg up, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Come up on out of it. Last time here on this leg. Open up that body, good tall posture, hinge forward, drive that knee into the ground as hard as you can, lift that back leg up, lift it up as high as you can, driving that front knee into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Now this back leg really wants to cramp up on you. This back hip could be on fire here, but that won't stop us from transitioning over to the other side one last time. Open up that right leg, drive the left leg into the ground, keep opening, feel that stretch in the adductors, and transition over so that your right leg is forward. I'm going to flip towards you one last time, sitting in our 90-90, front leg out in front of our chest, back leg in line with our hand here, opening up, driving all of our points of contact into the ground. And once again, we're going to be hinging over this front leg while lifting this back leg up off the ground. So let's start by opening up over this front leg. We're going to hinge over the knee here. 3 out of 10 on pressure, driving this front knee into the ground. And now lift that back leg up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Come up out of it. Regain yourself. We're going to drive back into the ground. 6 out of 10 on pressure with this front leg, lifting the back foot up a little bit more. Let's hinge forward, drive that front leg into the ground, lift that back leg up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Come back up. Good tall posture. This is our last time. Let's do it. Drive this front leg into the ground as hard as we can. Lift this back leg up as high as we can. Let's hinge forward. Driving that knee into the ground, pulling that foot up off the ground. Come on, press, press. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Last time to open up over that trail leg and just lift that left knee up off the ground as high as we can, getting that big stretch in the adductors here. Let's bring this right leg up off the ground. Center our hips a little bit, and now we're just driving both knees out away from each other into a bit of a bear sit. Driving both knees towards the ground, working on external rotation of the hips. One more deep breath here. And just relax this position, bring the feet together. Sit yourself in a little butterfly, and you can use your elbows to press your knees towards the ground, get a little bit of an extra stretch here. And that is the routine. So thank you guys so much for following along with me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it valuable. And if you have been enjoying these follow along mobility routines, please let me know. I'm gonna get back into working on some more normal videos for this channel, but if this is something you've really enjoyed, let me know in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like, and what kind of mobility routines you wanna see moving forward. And just a reminder that you can find plenty more mobility exercises and just general information and inspiration about staying fit, active, and healthy at home over at chasebarron.com. So until next time, we will see you in the next one. Yeah. Cheers.